What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, you are watching TWA Motorsports, and today we're going to be taking some parts off the OBS, getting them out to paint. I figured I would show you guys the process because we may end up doing some fender rolling in this video. I don't know quite yet, but the plan was, like I told you guys at the end of the last video when we got the bed on and the tail lights and the bumper, the back pretty much done for the most part. I need a spray and bed liner, but the back, from here back, we are complete, other than we are going to put some trim back on this thing. Now, we obviously bought a hood from LMC, guys. The hood actually fits very well, and I need to get it painted. So when I first did this truck, right, so we've had the bed, you guys have seen it in the background for a long time. I bought the paint to do the entire truck, okay? So the plan was to blow this thing off the frame, do a complete frame off. Plans, however, they changed. I thought I'd do maybe more bits and pieces than kind of a complete blow apart. All right, so look, I said in the last video too, this thing could potentially leave. There's always that chance, okay? But until it does, I'm not really ready to sell it, but if somebody came with an offer, it may sell. We got the bed painted, we corrected the top, the cab corners look good. I actually think the doors are gonna clean up for the most part. There's a couple dings I think I can get my PDR guy to fix. The vent visors, we're gonna have to touch that up for now, but I figured it's pretty easy to pull the fenders off, or at least I think. And so why not take him the fenders, the hood, and that filler piece at the same time? And I've gotta have that to him actually in a day or two. So we're gonna have to knock it out relatively quick. I'm gonna have to have Cohen's help getting the hood off. I can't do that by myself. But before we start taking anything apart, we're gonna be blowing some stuff apart. And like I said, we may get into some fender rolling because right now we rub a little bit when the suspension kind of maxes out. Remember, I was kind of bummed that I did not get the filler piece or the upper trim piece for the front bumper. I thought it came with a bumper, and obviously it didn't. I've got one. I actually found one on Amazon, and I will list it in the description down below, but I wanted to test fit it before I took the bumper off. I don't know why, guys. It's a huge box. I actually thought it'd come rolled up and I'd have to leave it out in the sun for a couple days, but it didn't. So I'm interested to see what it looks like and how good it fits. So we're gonna go pop it out of the box over here. It's actually up front in front of the 55. Let me drag that box over here. Let's get it open and let's see how that fits before we start the tear down process. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if you guys are like me, but anytime I get a new part, even though I'm really not quite ready for it, as you can see, my table completely rounded over there. I probably got enough parts for years of projects. I kind of buy ahead of time sometimes because of, you never know when you're not gonna be able to get something. So if I think of it, I try to get it, and that way I'm not left in a pinch. But this right here, I've been dying to put on because I'm hoping it fits, guys. Like I said, I thought it was gonna come in a rolled up, like, you guys know how it comes, like sometimes rolled up, but this thing is like one complete piece. And like I said, I ordered it off Amazon. I don't know, it may fit like crap. The reviews seem pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent. It doesn't. Let's see if we can get this thing snapped into place. I don't even know the brand. So when I went to LMC thinking I was getting a bumper that had this, obviously I did not. I guess this just pushes on and kind of stays, I don't know. But anyway, when I went to LMC to get this, the bumper, I thought it came with this, it didn't. So I got back on their catalog or whatever, their book or online catalog, and I thought, well, I'll just order one, you know, it's not a big deal. They don't have them, they were out of stock. So I think, guys, this thing just pushes in. It looks like it has an alignment dial here. Holy cow. Let me know in the comments, guys, if I'm screwing it up, but I think it just fits like this. What holds it on? I don't know. Sure doesn't look like it's gonna stay. Maybe it doesn't fit this bumper. Maybe the holes are too big. Sure isn't staying. Well, I don't know what to tell you guys. It seems like it's fitting, but here in the corners and stuff, it's not, it doesn't stay. What's gonna keep it in the corners? I don't know, it looks nice. See, normally that's like a push-in connection, and it like kind of jams itself into place, but aha! Looky there. If all else fails, read the instructions. Let me see what this is about, guys. This says what? There's a bunch of these little things. There you go. So, install manual, remove bumper from the car. Okay. And then you press these on. Attention, please insert 2 original fastening screws. I don't remember there being any fastening screws unless they're talking about for the, they may be talking about for the license plate. Okay, so here's the situation. Remount the bumper back to the car after assembly. So it's saying there's a guide pin, which is what's on the back of this, and then please insert 2, oh, I don't know. So these guys, oh, okay, I get it now. These little washers are gonna keep it planted to the bumper. That makes sense. Okay, makes sense. It has, I believe, an installation tool for you to hit these, so you to knock them on. Does that make sense? So we are gonna have to do some disassembly. I don't necessarily know that we have to take the bumper completely off. We may have to. Okay, I'm just gonna follow the instructions. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. I think we're gonna have to take it off to do it, but these are what they call spring clamps. So they're gonna press on with this guy, the big piece that comes with it, and you're gonna knock them on with like a hammer, okay? The smaller sleeve is for the outers. So the 4 outers, the 2 on the corners on each side, they have a smaller, what almost looks like a speed nut, and that is to press those on. So I'm guessing we're not gonna have enough room. We'll go ahead and start taking the grill out and get it out of the way and the lower panel, and we'll look back there and kind of see what we've got. But guys, it seems like the fitment and the, you know, the bend in it, it's lining up in all the holes, let's put it that way. Well, I blew the front end apart here. Didn't take me long. And I started a couple of these just to see kind of how they work. So guys, here's the situation. You can see these guys, you can see where the screws they're talking about go. I don't know what the heck. I guess, like I said, maybe that's for the factory license plate holder, but you're kind of putting pressure on them. You put this guy in place, and then you're using this to flatten that out. And I'm using, see how they're kind of bubbled? I'm putting the bubble side up, so it seems to be driving a little closer when I do that. It doesn't really say in the instructions, they're kind of terrible, but anyway, I'm just using just a small hammer, ball peen hammer, and putting those on there and knocking them in. So I'm gonna do that all the way down to the last 2 on the end, and then we'll see if we can use that other tool and get the smaller ones on. Okay, after a little bit of work, it fits. The downside is I broke one of the pins off. So remember I said on the outers, the 2 outers, there's a smaller insert that goes on those. Well, there was a big insert for some reason, so they manufactured it incorrectly. And so I tried to push that smaller star on there, and it broke the tab, which is fine because it's actually holding really, really well there. It's this one right here on the outer, but I've got the outer done right there, and it seems to be fitting relatively well, guys. So look, here's what I will tell you. This thing that they send is a piece of crap, and it's just not long enough to do what you need to do. So it'll get you started with the big ones across the middle. But what I did was I actually put my foot and some towels along the bottom, and I use this because it clears even the big ones. So then this kind of drove it home afterwards. I started in the middle, working my way out, and when I got this one in and knocked down and then put this one in, this one got a little loose. So I went back and hammered it down a little tighter, then hammered this one down tight, then put this one in. When I put this one in, these two kind of loosened up a little bit. Not that they loosened up, it's just drawing closer. So what I'm doing is, as I put one in, I go back and knock the rest down. And so I did that all the way across. And actually, guys, when I got to the corners, it's kind of hard to do by yourself unless you have help, because you're kind of needing to hold that in place while you're hammering them down. So what I did was I got some, what I use for actually pushing brake calipers back together to put new pads in. I pulled that out here, put a towel around it, and just kind of smashed it in. And then once I knocked it into place, was able to take those off and no problems. But I'm kind of impressed. It didn't come all folded up. It seems to fit pretty decent. Let's continue. Cohen helped me take the hood off this thing, so that makes life a little easier for me. So let's continue, guys. What I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna try to lift the front of the truck up a little bit so we can get the wheels off the ground, and then we gotta get the wheels off. Now these wheels actually, I don't know if they come with the tool, but the center piece unscrews to give you access to the lug nuts. It's kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. It's a decent looking wheel, but kind of hard to get that off. But we need to get that off in order to see if we're gonna roll the fender anymore. It's already been rolled some, but looks kind of like the baseball bat method. Don't know, but I've got to have that wheel off so we can put our tool on if we are gonna do that. So if not, my painter said he could just trim them and fold them up when he paints them. We've got some stuff to get out of the way in order to get them off. I don't exactly know what all bolts to this. It looks like there's several little things that go to this. So it ought to be interesting to see. Looks like there's 2 bolts there, 4 bolts here, some clips possibly. We'll just have to see as we get a little further, but let me get it off the ground, get the wheel off. So the easiest way I found, like I said, guys, there may be a tool out there, but I use one of these with a towel and get it started. And then this just unscrews. And it's plastic, so you gotta be kind of careful. And then we're off. These look like they fit multiple bolt patterns, actually. I wonder what the other bolt pattern is. 245, 45, 20. Maybe I could use these on the 54. I think they're a little big. Anyway, let's get these lug nuts off and get this wheel out of here. Now that I've got the wheel off, I want to bring you a little closer and show you what kind of hack job was done before. That's pretty crappy, guys. That's not pretty crappy, that's really crappy. Yeah. So, obviously, look, guys, we got to roll this thing up. Now, the Eastwood fender roller that I have, I don't know if it reaches this far. So what we may have to do is put a block under the suspension and kind of let the jack down, the suspension come back up. But if not, or besides that, this is a 5-on-5. Okay, so the Chevy trucks of this year, 5-on-5. And so what that means is you cannot use an Eastwood fender roller because they do not work on a 5-on-5. They only work on a 5-on-4 3/4 and 5-on-4 1/2. So what that means is we're gonna have to get an adapter, and I actually have one, I believe, that will hook this up. So let me go rig this up, and if I've got an adapter, and we will see what we need to do. So check this out. This is an aluminum spacer that converts a Chevy truck to a 5-on-5 bolt pattern to a 5-on-4 3/4. Can you believe that? I don't think we need all of these in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll put 3 of them in, snug them down, and then we will see if we can get this fitted on. That was way too tight. We're not driving down the road with it. Okay, once we get that, make sure and keep these lug nuts separate. Let's see if we can get this thing on here now. I bet it fits. What do you bet? What a cool idea. I think this guy actually, Sergio, if I remember correctly, had the same issue maybe with his, or the one he was using. And this allowed him to be able to use it on his truck or car or whatever he was working on. I don't remember. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's just run this back down with these. We have the hard part done, which is mounting it. I say the hard part. We probably better, we're gonna have some adjusting to do to get this to work. And you can see, guys, how dusty it is. I think the last person to use it was my buddy Jason. He did it on a Trans Am, I believe, and I bought it for a Camaro that I had back in the day. I don't remember, it's been so long since I used it. Okay, this is what we start with. I'm gonna snug it up because it's not gonna work correctly until it's snug, and I'm gonna put all 5 on to snug it. Now I'm gonna bring you a little closer to talk about the adjustments that we have. So we have a length adjustment, okay? We have an angle adjustment that locks the wheel into place. So this unscrews and gets the length that you want. So I think we are going to be able to do this with the suspension down like this, but I think what we will start with is we'll start here, get it up to the point we need, because we kind of want to go at an angle, kind of like this. And you want to work it gradually. I don't know if this is going to go far enough out. It may. Okay. So that looks like the right angle. We're going to snug it down. Here and here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to loosely put this in. And then we're gonna roll back and forth. Now, look, guys, if you're painting, you can be a little tougher on it. I actually think we need to move the wheel a little. But if you're gonna be painting it, it doesn't matter quite as much if you get it kind of beat up. I don't know if I've got enough here. I think I'm gonna have to adjust it a lot more. I'm not sure. Yeah, the problem is that the spot where it's already rolled, we're snug on that. But not anywhere else. See how it falls out when we get to that point? So I don't know. I'm gonna keep adjusting it until we get it right where I need it. Here's what I think we'll do. Let's get it locked right here. And then once we get it locked, let's really start to put some pressure on it. Let's just do this area first, and then we'll work it out a little further as we go. I'm gonna loosen it up. We're gonna go with a little bit different angle. Lock it in, put some more pressure on it. Okay, I'm going to show you guys here in a minute what we're dealing with down here. I'm going to change the angle a little more. Lock it down. Put some more pressure on it. Now we don't want to get to the point where we're putting you want to do a little bit at a time. You don't want to get to a point where you're putting so much pressure on it that you're causing the fender to bulge out here, okay? A lot of people put relief cuts in this. It's a pretty good job. I'm a little concerned that it keeps losing its place there. Bring it up a little. Now, see where it loses its spot right there? It's a little frustrating. It's definitely working though. The downside is I'm going to have to adjust it separately to hit these areas, even though I don't necessarily know how much they're going to interfere. I went over it a couple times, and look, the paint was already broken, so we didn't do it any favors, but look at how much it rolled that up. And what I like about it is it's pretty even. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to have him just kind of hammer this flat. So because I'm going to have him do that, I'm going to put a relief cut right here where that normally you would have your chrome pieces. I'm going to put a relief cut right here, not go all the way out to the edge, but maybe into about right here. I'm going to do the same thing on this one because, guys, ultimately all we need is this section right here above the tire rolled up. Okay, so we would be going from there to there. That will be gobs, okay? We're never gonna have issues with it hitting back here, so we don't need to roll these areas, just the top. So look, does the Eastwood fender roller work? Yeah, I actually think if this paint were a little newer and I heated it up, I think it would have chipped, well, I don't think it would have broken. The fact that it was already done, I think is part of our issue here. So let me go get, I actually might use my little Dremel to cut that just because I can be a little more precise. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then like I said, I'm going to go ahead and probably start the process of taking this fender off and let him fold that over before he paints it. He can just hammer that out flat, and so it's, you know, a nice curved lip, and yeah, I don't think it'll look too bad at all. Well, you can see that I've got that cut accomplished, and then like I said, I'm gonna have him just hammer it, kind of starting the transition. He can even cut an ear of that off if he wants to. Same thing over here. I just cut through that hole, and I'm maybe a 1/4 inch or so from the outside of the fender. So not gonna cause any problems. So let's go ahead and start the fender removal process. I'm gonna start here with this fender extension, which are 7mm. You see one there, and then there's 2 that go up from the bottom. We should be able to get that out with our small impact ratchet. And then guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take, I don't think we need to take this one out, the bottom one, but we need to take the 13 millimeters around the perimeter out, so all the way down. And then there's one down here on the bottom. You can see how tore up that is. We're gonna touch this up since we're not painting the cab. Let's get those out. I take that back. These are 1/4 inch, guys. These, however, 13 millimeters. So you can see I took that one out. I took all the, and this one does have to come out, by the way, the bottom one, all the way around the perimeter and the one underneath. Okay, now we need to go up top here because we've got some other 13s to get loose. You can see we've got 2 here. Probably gonna have to move the computer out of the way, but we've got 1, 2, those look like 10 millimeters actually. And then we've got these. There's probably 2 more on the other side. Definitely some on the top. And then we're gonna have to get this out of the way. And we've got one right here. So let's get those out of the way right now. See if I can, I don't remember how this computer comes out. I think it's, oh, I can just unsnap it maybe. There we go. Lift it out of place. That'll work. Just kind of move it out of the way to get to the bolts that we need to get to. Yeah, we may have to do that with the, holy cow, there's more than I thought. This tray has to come out. Okay, we can do that. Okay, we'll just take the tray out. It needs to be cleaned up anyway, and then we'll be able to get to those other ones back behind it. So those were actually 13s, 10 that held the computer box that you see up there. And I just left those here. Now I did go ahead and undo the clips. You can see I just opened them up with a flat blade screwdriver. Got all the clips and stuff off this, and guys, it's pretty freaking loose. So the only 2 I know we have left are the ones that come through the door. So I'm gonna open the door, get the 2 13s out that go there. And I did take the spring off too, by the way. There's a 13 that goes here that takes the spring off. You could take this off at the same time. In fact, I may go ahead and do that. That's just a 13 there. Let's do that. And I think, other than those 2 13s, we should be, depending on, it just seems really loose to me. Let's look at the 2 I'm talking about. There was one right there, and there was one right there. Now, I think we should be good to pull that fender off. Let's give it a shot. With the okay. See that right there? That's a shim. We need to make sure that that goes right back where it came from. We got some vacuuming to do. Apparently at some point this thing slept under a tree. The only thing I had issues with, guys, is this right here. I don't know what this is, but it was hooked up still to the fender. Other than that, fender came right off. So not too bad, actually. I was kind of dreading this, but now that gives me an opportunity while he's painting to, you know, kind of clean some of this stuff, make it look a little nicer. I need to go do the exact same thing on the opposite side. A little easier over here. I think I'm gonna have to pull the battery out though, because I've got to get to a bolt from the battery tray that goes in that we just put in. Aside from that, there's actually less over here because I don't have an antenna on it. I am, however, I don't think I'll show you guys this side. I got to move some stuff around to make this happen anyway. I need to slit the fenders just like I did on the other side, but I think the next cut you will see, I'm hoping to have the wheels back on both sides and it back down on the ground, hopefully. We now have both fenders off, and I've got them over here, guys, because I'm going to take them to my painter, but I need to get some of these clips out of here. So I just did the driver's side fender and then cleaned it up, just trying to make his life a little bit easier. On this side, there's not as much, but what I do want to do is I want to have him shoot both sides. That way we've got a nice looking area on the inside and a nice looking area on the outside. I know I'm going probably overboard here, guys, but this side, like I said, doesn't have as much to remove. What I'm doing is I'm removing all these clips that held the inners in, the clips that held the outers in, and then any clips across the bottom or the top, anywhere basically there's a clip, I'm pulling these guys out. And then like the hood for the the closing, kind of keep it from rattling around. I'm taking those out. Obviously we need to take this guy out. That was for the antenna. I'm gonna take this clip out, guys. There's no good way to get behind that. I might be able to get behind that one because of the opening, but there was some on the driver's side that were up here. You can't get your hand in to actually get those out without breaking them. So it is what it is. Let's get these out. I'm gonna clean. I've got some Windex. I'm just cleaning, you know, the big stuff off. There's a bunch of dirt and debris that we're gonna have to vacuum out. And then there's a bunch of stuff in the fender, so I'm kind of knocking it to one side and then vacuuming it out. Now, look, before I clean, and by gosh, I got a lot of cleaning to do. We need to get, I guess I can leave those there. I want to take the wipers off. I told my painter, he said he's going to be painting black this week. And so I thought, you know what, let's just paint the windshield wiper arms and the mirrors. Guys, the mirrors, I don't know if you can't really see that in the shot, but they're pretty rough. And he's shooting black this week. So I thought, you know what, I was going to keep these mirrors black anyway. These look like they've been painted on before. Man, that is about the easiest removal a guy will ever have. I don't know if there's, this says P, I wonder if that means passenger. That would make sense. It didn't look like it fit the greatest. Yeah, pretty sure those have been put on backwards. Let's go get that other one off. There's just a little clip to release them. I actually wish they were still like this because that is about as easy as it gets. On the MBS trucks, you have to take a bolt out and then you have to fight with them to get them off. But let's get the other one off and then we're gonna move to the mirrors. You know why those were so wonky? They were on the wrong side. There is a driver and a passenger. Well, they look identical though, don't they? But they are just a hair off the way they're made. So that's why that one was so high. That, you notice that one was really high in the window. Look at the dust. Anyway, got them off. As for the mirrors, look, I know, I know they're powered, right? So that could mean a couple things. It could mean, man, it's gonna come right out. It could mean I'm gonna have to pull the whole dadgum door panel off just to get the plug unplugged. I don't remember. But let's see what we got. We get this little squishy ball out. At least it still got it, right? Holy cow. That blocks some wind noise, guys. Looks like it's pretty deep in the door. Maybe, let's see if we can pull it up and where the plug's at. I don't think we can get it that far. I'm gonna be really bummed if I gotta take the whole door panel off. Oh, I see it. It's right there. I think I can reach that. You're not gonna be able to see it, but I can definitely reach that with a flat blade screwdriver, a small flat blade screwdriver, get that unplugged. That's awesome. Now, going back together, I'm probably gonna have to pull the door panel off. Yep, got it out of there. However, like I said, going back together, we're definitely gonna have to pull this panel off. But now, it's just like a newer style Chevy truck, except the access isn't as good. We got a 10mm back here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen it with probably a ratcheting wrench, and then these two, I think I can get with a small swivel, like 1/4" drive 10mm, we'll see. I actually was able to get it started with just a swivel on this very back one too. However, not dropping it in the door may be fun. I may go grab a magnet because I can't get both of my fingers in there. I don't think. No way. Okay, I'm gonna go get a magnet before I drop it. It's all the way loose. How lucky can I get here, guys? Ah! It's like not quite loose. Oh man. I'm gonna drop it. I just know it. Oh, I got it. I got it. Look at that little guy. Way back in that corner. So now I'm gonna leave the easiest one, which is the top one, for last, so I can put my hand on the outside and you know, try to not let the mirror hit the ground. And I may get in the way of the camera here, but just got one more. Oh, that's not a good sound. Wondering if that stud just broke. Well, it's getting loose. Maybe not. Try not to block the camera, but I think I am. All right. Sorry guys, but we got it off there. Check it out. I went ahead, duplicated that on the other side. And guys, I think this is where we're gonna wrap this video up. We got a lot accomplished. I got the whole front end to the painter now, so he's got it. I don't know how quick he's gonna turn it around. He's got other stuff going on. Like I said, he's gonna paint black first, which is why I wanted to get him those mirrors. And the wiper arms were on there wrong. So we've got some cleanup to do. I may show you guys a video of me cleaning up these areas. You know, we got a lot of work to do before I want to put the fenders back on anyway, and the hood and whatnot. So I'm gonna clean up a lot of the front of this and probably paint a few, like the bumper brackets, and clean up some of the bolts. And then, you know, I've got a good shot at the door jambs right there from the inner side, so I can get those really clean. The kind of the edge of the firewall, and then of course the inner fenders and whatnot. But we are coming along, and it's kind of exciting, guys, to see some progress on some stuff out here. We've got a lot of stuff going on with the dually, the 54, this. I actually got a message from my transmission guy on the Trans Am, says he's building it this week. I don't know when this video is going to post, but if you guys are enjoying the progress on the OBS truck, get on there and hit the thumbs up button. Guys, everything I used in this video, if I used anything, will be listed in the description down below, so go check that out. Of course, like always, guys, if you are not subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Like always, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.